Counting blessings, learning lesson got me feeling special. Spending money, mama said, hope the Lord bless you. Everything I ever wanted, had to pray for. Anything I did wrong, had to pay for. I'll do it all again just to make you smile. Peace and blessings, peace and blessings. Now, this topic today gonna resonate with a lot of people. But this one is, God made me. Now, God made everybody. But some people are corrupted early by the devil. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But God made me. And if you feel the same, type it in the comments. But I know God made me because I come from the urban community, the hood. People might call it the ghetto. But we called it the projects. So, growing up, I had a lot of hate, a lot of bad situations. Grew up without the parents, mama running the street, doing narcotics, you know. But I live with the granny, you know. So I stayed with granny, and life wasn't perfect, but it wasn't so bad, you know. My granny house was the house where everybody came, you know. Friends, neighbors, family. And all my cousins would come over, and they had their parents. So after they was babysitting and school was out, or my uncles and aunts got off of work, everybody left. But I still was with granny. But it was a lot of hate growing up from my cousins, people in the neighborhood, classmates. But I endured it. God gave me the strength to protect myself from the hood, the enemies. But sometimes it was rough. The bullies in school, the neighborhoods, family. So I had to adapt. So I adapted. And I was known as the bully's bully because I wasn't having it, you know. I was a nice person, but the hood kinda makes you mean. But you have to be that way so people won't keep trying to push over, get over on you, etc. But God made me, so I always had a good heart. you know. It was times where the bullies got out of control, you know. But I protected myself. Basically, God protected me. So after that, moved to a better community, was adopted by my aunt. I lived with my mom for a minute. Don't have too much memory. I was very young. By the time I was 7, I was adopted by my aunt, you know. Still seeing my mom, but she was doing narcotics. But like I say, God made me through that. Like Tupac said, I'm sort of the rose that grew through concrete. So a lot of people in the projects that I grew up seem like if their parents did narcotics, they basically either wind up doing narcotics or selling narcotics. So I fell victim to that later on in life. So I was out there doing wrong, you know, being of the world. But the reason I know God made me is because I never wanted to get caught. So I felt like I didn't put in as much effort as they did, because it's like I feel like they did it because they had to do it, but I did it because I wanted money, the finer things in life, clothes, etc. But much as I didn't want to get caught, I would get caught because God made me. So God knew that wasn't for me. So I would get arrested and be in jail for a day, 2 days, 3 days, a week, sometimes 2 weeks. But one time I was in there for 3 months. And that's when I knew that life wasn't for me, you know. And I was in there, and I was in there for a firearm, and it was after I was out the street. I probably been out the streets for about 2 years at that point. And the streets came back to haunt me, and I was arrested for a firearm that I kept for protection. So wasn't in the streets anymore. I felt like living in the urban neighborhood, the hood, you needed a firearm for protection because there were so many people with firearms around you all the time. You didn't want to be bullied by them. But God made me. Therefore, you don't need a weapon. All you need is faith. So, if God made you, trust and believe that you are protected. You don't have to worry about these demons in the streets, these demons of the world. You're protected. It can be 20 people with firearms in front of a store you're trying to go to. You can go in there, you know. They might say something slick, but that's the most they're going to do. They're not going to go too far because you protected by angels, by the Most High, and God made you. So He's not going to let Satan take you because you belong to him. So knowing God made me, it took a long time to give my life to Christ, but it happened. God will always let you have free will. But at the end of the day, God still knows what you're going to do, where you're going to go, and who you're going to be come in the future before you know. So with that being said, God made me. And like I said, for my chosen ones, if you feel like God made you, or you know God made you, type it in the comments. Trust me. But when I was young, I did feel like Satan made some people. Cause I seen some evil people out here. We all have. Type that in the comments if you have, but God made everybody. But with free will, man, there's some demons out here. Y'all know what I'm talking about. There's some demons out here. But if God made you, you protected. Don't even worry about it. But that's all I have for y'all today. Till next time, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stay blessed. Stay safe. Peace.